The IPCC's recently released report, Climate Change 2021, the Physical Science Basis, has issued the strongest call yet for urgent and deep cuts to be made to global greenhouse gas emissions. The Working Group 1 report says the window in which to deliver the deep emissions cuts needed to prevent the worst impacts of climate change is closing rapidly. Hi, I'm Barbara from 100% Renewables, a consultancy specialized in the development of net zero strategies. In today's video, I'll talk about the 5 emission scenarios used in the latest IPCC report and how much carbon we can still emit to avoid catastrophic climate change. A key message from the report is that rapid reductions in emissions are required this decade to prevent long-term ecological and climate breakdown, with every fraction of a degree making a huge difference in avoiding a climate disaster. The report examines 5 scenarios, which are doubling of carbon emissions by 2050, doubling of carbon emissions by 2100, carbon emissions to stay at current levels to mid-century, net zero after 2050 and net negative emissions later in the century, and net zero by around 2050 and net negative emissions later in the century. The bad news is that in all 5 scenarios, the best estimate now is that we will pass 1.5C in the 2030s, even under the rapid mitigation scenarios. So if your organization is committed to reach net zero by around mid-century, then the last of these scenarios is the only one realistically available, provided you act now to reduce your emissions significantly this decade. To help you plan your target and what you will do now, consider this. Historically, we have emitted more than 2,560 billion tons of carbon emissions. We have a 50-50 chance to limit warming to 1.5C if we stay within a global carbon budget of 500 billion tons. At pre-pandemic global emission rates, this gives us under 11 years before we exceed 1.5C. If we want a better chance, 2 in 3 of achieving around 1.5C of warming by mid-century, then we can emit just 400 billion tons globally, and we have even less time to act. In either case, the science is clear that by 2030 our emissions must have been reduced to just a fraction of what they are today. Starting today, making deep emissions cuts and persisting on this path for years is the only response from governments and business that can achieve this. So what immediate 3 steps can you take in your business? Firstly, set a net zero target that recognizes the climate emergency. Secondly, develop a comprehensive carbon footprint and plan to decarbonize rapidly. And thirdly, don't wait, implement your plan. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.